All right, Chuck's Chat week 4. Week 4, last Saturday in October or in September coming up in college football. Records leader in the clubhouse, Ben. He went 13-6 last week. He's now 34, 22-2 overall. 2-1 on locks. Your lock was, I forget what your lock was. Was it Iowa under?
Yes, it was.
Okay, I thought so. Ferry last week 5-8, 0-1 on locks, and I forget what your lock was.
It was Fresno.
Oh, Fresno. Okay. Well, I'm sure we'll revisit that during the show. And then I went 6-6, won my lock, so I'm 17, 18-1, 2-1 on locks. My lock was Syracuse, which was a barn burner.
that was a sweaty one.
I texted my dad like right when they went up 10 with 5 minutes left. I was like, this is it. Easy lock. No, it was not.
Yeah. That was
never easy.
That was thrilling at the end.
It was.
Man.
It was. Went from 9-3 at half, I think, to
yeah. Talk about an over. Imagine having the over at halftime. You'd be pissed.
Yeah. So, all right. To wrap up, kind of from last week, best bet regret. Ben, what do you got? You probably don't have any regrets.
No, not really. My biggest regret, probably UTEP or head to head. I got spanked. Best bet's probably USC. Like, you guys keep disrespecting them. I know we're probably going to talk about this the whole show, but they just keep whooping everybody.
Yeah, so in fairness to me and Ferry, Jake Hainer got injured. Who knows what would happen the rest of that game? So it may have ended 41-17, but you never know. Ferry, best bet regret.
I think my best bet was the Bama pick. I mean, I laid my nuts on the table and put them -50. And it was close at the end, but hey, they pulled it out.
No, it wasn't. It was not close.
Well, when I say close, I mean like it almost almost didn't hit. Like at least I thought.
I had them +50, and I didn't think there was a shot that was hitting after the first half.
Well, they got an early touchdown. That's why at first I was, and then they weren't covering until the last like 3 or 4 minutes of the game, if I remember correctly. And then I was like, oh, please don't tell me third stringer's gonna screw me over here. But that, and then I had Troy in that crazy App State game. I thought
that's right, you did.
Yeah, that was sharp.
That was sharp.
Yeah, but those are my two best, and then it just Nebraska and then Fresno losing bad, but Nebraska was just that was just But what do they score? 35 or 42 on enter right away after that first touchdown.
Yep.
I tried to warn everybody to not bet Nebraska.
That was also my bet regret.
Yep, I'm all for just betting against Nebraska every game the rest of the way. I'm done.
And best bet, I'll just say Syracuse, I guess. Although I felt New Mexico was kind of good too. But Syracuse was a fun game. If my lock wins, I have to put it as best bet. It was a great game, especially since that was the only competitive game of the noon.
Yeah.
Everything else was a blowout.
You were just waiting for. I mean, the Notre Dame one got close to the end, but other than that,
Nebraska.
All right, jeez.
Okay, so week 4, I feel like I keep saying this every week, but I'm like, this is not the greatest slate ever.
It's not. It's not.
This one is the worst of the last 3.
Yeah, I agree. And it's like, I feel like a lot of buys too. Like, I feel like it looks shorter. The card looks shorter.
I agree. I thought that as well. Okay, so first up here, we got Clemson going to Wake Forest. Huge game in the Atlantic. Is it Atlantic and Coastal?
Atlantic.
Huge game in the Atlantic Division. Clemson 7-point favorite at Wake Forest. The total is 55.5. Ben, you want to start us off?
Sure. So I think it's going to go under. I think Clemson's defense generally shows up on the road. I think it's a big game for Wake being at home. So I think their defense will kind of get a boost. This is a 7-point spread, correct? Clemson -7.
Yep.
I wouldn't lay the points, but I like the under. I think it's going to be close, maybe like a field goal to a touchdown. So under 55.5 is my pick.
I like
Ferry,
that.
what do you think?
I actually had a celeb pick call in about this game.
Oh, okay.
A good friend of the program, Teddy. He likes Clemson -7, so because of that, I will ride with the Clemson -7.
All right, shout out Teddy, Clemson. I really don't like it, but I think I'm going to take Wake in this game +7. Maybe wait, see if I can get a 7.5. There are 2 7.5s available right now: BetMGM and Fox Bet. I really just don't trust Clemson's offense to cover a 7-point spread on the road anymore.
I get it.
Their scores are a little deceiving to me. The only one I watched was Georgia Tech, and they really it took them a long way to get to 41 points in that game. They didn't look very inspiring offense. Then Furman and Louisiana Tech. What can you say about those two? But so yeah, I'll risk having Wake Forest not like implode, and because their defense isn't great.
Is their quarterback back?
He is back.
Okay.
He played the second game, I believe. They had Vandy. He did play in that game.
Gotcha. I didn't realize if he was back yet.
Yeah, so this is kind of their Super Bowl, and kind of they're in North Carolina. I was going to say it's a little in-state, but they're in North Carolina. And they did kind of get embarrassed last year in Clemson. It's a little revenge. That was when Clemson was like everyone wrote them off, and then Clemson just dominated Wake Forest. So I'm a little scared of that taking Wake Forest, but
I think it's gonna be close. Close, good game.
Close, good game. So we go from our ACC guy to our Big 12 guy. Baylor going to Iowa State. Iowa State is a 2.5-point favorite at home. The total is 46. Ferry, what do you got here?
Yeah, I'm seeing a 3 right now.
Oh, so you're seeing a 3. Okay.
Yeah. Which
I'm also seeing a 3. I have on my sheet 3.
Which doesn't change my opinion, to be honest. I don't know why. Hey, I'm just gonna go with Iowa State -3. I don't know if you saw anything why they might be favorite 3 points over Baylor coming in ranked 17. But it's just one of those. I'm like, Vegas knows something. -3 for Iowa State.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with Ferry here. Iowa State -3. I think this is the first big home game after winning at Iowa, which was probably the big win of the season. I think the crowd's going to be amped up to see Baylor come in. I think they're going to win. They're favored for a reason.
The only thing, now that I just think about it, the only thing I can think of is it does scare me a little bit with Matt Campbell rumors, floating around. I know who knows where his head's at, but he's always been on the rumor block for the last year or two. So just something just to mess with the head a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm going to go Iowa State here too. I think we were all kind of on this, I think, a week ago with Oregon and how BYU might not be as good as they looked against. Like they kind of struggled against Baylor, and Baylor's offense was even worse than BYU's. Going on the road again, hostile environment. I don't think they're going to do well enough offensively to win this game, so I'll gladly take 3 with Iowa State, and kind of what you said, Ferry, with someone knows something with them being 3-point favorite against a ranked team. I kind of have the same feel that I had last week with Washington, and then Washington just blew the doors off Michigan State. So I'll just do what Vegas is telling me here. Iowa Cyclones. Yeah, Baylor's a little scary.
Right.
They all the talent they had to replace. Different team. Going to SEC country, Florida going to Tennessee. Tennessee, I think this is their largest favorite they've had against. I thought I heard or read that somewhere. It might be wrong. I don't know, but 10.5-point favorite at home against Florida. Florida last week barely squeaks by South Florida, 31-28. Tennessee undefeated, took care of Akron 63-6 last week. So Ben, what do you got here in this the third Saturday in September clash?
What time is this game?
Or I think it's a 3:30. Yeah, 3:30.
Okay, I think I would like this game more if it was a night game. Tennessee's a quality football school. They managed to beat Pitt while we were undermanned in a game we probably win 90% of the time, but good for Tennessee, they won. I think it's going to be a shootout, over 62.5. I really wanted this to be a night game, and this was maybe going to be my lock. Since it's not a night game, it's not my lock, but I'm going to go over 62.5. Low rocky top.
Fair. What do you think?
At first, I really have been going. I'm pretty torn on it. I think it's something similar to the Iowa State game. Like, what is Vegas telling you? But I'm going to fade that and go with Florida plus 10.5, just because I've never trusted Tennessee sports, football and basketball, to cover big games. I mean, Rick Barnes and down like that. Tennessee just doesn't win by big. I just don't see it. Like 10.5 just happening. And like Ben said, not a night game. For whatever, I don't like Florida because I think they got a lot of hype after Utah win, and maybe they're just not that good. But nonetheless, it's more so against Tennessee. That's why I'm taking Florida plus 10.5.
Yeah, this really sucks for Utah for sure that they lost to Florida because they aren't looking that good. I would also lean Tennessee, but I like the over more, just because I feel like those kind of go hand in hand. As if you trust Tennessee's defense, they'll cover the 10.5. I don't trust Tennessee's defense, but I'm also not going to back Florida.
Yeah,
they just don't look like a good team.
Yeah.
So I'll go over. I'll begrudgingly go over just because Tennessee can score. So hopefully Florida matches score for score, and AR-15 looks better this week. Next game, Dallas, Jerry's World, Arkansas taking on A&M. A&M is a 2.5-point favorite. The total is 48.5. Ferry, how do you see this game?
Again, Vegas got to know something. I mean, I don't want to take A&M. I really don't, but I feel like I have to. They're leaving me no choice. I really don't like it. I mean, but then again, Arkansas and Jerry World, who knows? Jerry's got something up his sleeve there. It's tough. I mean, so I might just, screw it. I'll just go with the under just because I don't think A&M can score. So I'll go with under 48.5 or 48, whatever it is.
Yeah. Ben, what do you think?
This game seems very similar to Oklahoma, Nebraska last week, and I shied away from that. I think I'm going to shy away from this game as well. I'm not going to bet it because this game just reeks, but I'm maybe leaning Texas A&M just because of Vegas, but I'm not taking anything in this game.
So on my card right now is, I don't know if it's still up there. There's a A&M minus 125. Anything when I get under 3, I don't want to fuck around with if this goes to OT and they win by 2, I don't want to lose if I'm on the right side. So I would go A&M just on the money line, and maybe the App State loss was the kick in the ass they needed to get a good season together. Their defense is very good, and going to Max Johnson, I guess, sort of paid off. There was a dominant performance last week, and hopefully they can take advantage of a pretty weak Arkansas defense. So we'll see. I mean, it's a bad offense against a bad defense, and there's a couple matchups like this week that I'm not really sure where to go, but I'm going to go A&M here. Hopefully and this is also a kind of a revenge from last year. Arkansas whooped them last year in this game, so I'll go A&M. Then I think, USC at Oregon State. Oregon first half, Oregon team total, Oregon full game spread for me. I'll only have Oregon State spread on. I want it to get to 7. If not, I'll just take 6.5. But
agreed.
It has to end eventually.
I love both these teams dearly. Well, not USC. I just think I respect them because they're good, not because of the nameless player on the team. Oregon State have been betting a lot this year. They're undefeated. I think whoever wins this game is going to go to the Rose Bowl. I'm going to probably bet
not
Trojans.
The college football playoff?
No, not the college football playoff. And I'm just going to bet USC. They keep kicking the shit out of teams. So maybe they're just Oklahoma 2.0 and they just will do this to the Pac-12. And I'm not going to keep dying in that hole like you two. So I assume Ferry's also on the Beavers.
I had the same exact thought as Chuck. I wanted it at 7, but I'm still going to take it at 6.5 if I have to. It just has to happen eventually. I mean, I almost made my lock, but I refrained from doing that because of history with USC this season.
Yeah, and if they keep covering,
you're a big man,
the lock will end up being Utah. when they get them at home.
Yep.
Utah will beat this team. Any other? So there's a couple other kind of prime-ish matchups that I didn't have on here. I don't know if Ferry, I don't know if you wanted to talk about Kansas State, Oklahoma a little more in depth, because I know that's probably on your radar, and also Texas Tech, Texas and Texas Tech, and also there's another one. Ohio State, Wisconsin. I don't know if you guys had any thoughts on any of those three that you wanted to dive into a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, Kansas State, Oklahoma, at 8:00 Fox game. I mean, I'd rather watch that game obviously over the Ohio State, Wisconsin game, just because a little bias there. And I've been big on Deuce Vaughn this year. I think 13 points is a lot. I mean, Oklahoma is beating the shit out of everyone, and Kansas State did not look as strong last week. But it's just a lot of points. But I might go with Kansas State plus 13.
Their last 3 games were all head-to-head. Were all 1-score games, so it's a good trend for you.
Yeah.
Ben, you have any thoughts on that or any other games of interest that you wanted to talk a little more in depth about?
Not any on my radar. Ferry, are you wearing an LSU hat?
No, this is a Detroit Tigers hat. It looks like Auburn Tigers hat, but it's
I was thinking Clemson when you had it on. I was like,
I saw
don't know where
I was seeing purple.
So I wore this weekend. Someone asked if it was an Auburn hat, and if I hated Penn State. I'm like, well, no, it's just a Detroit Tigers hat.
Well, yes, I do hate Penn State, but
yeah, right. It's like, yeah, I do actually. But
all right, Ben, if you wanted to get into your card here, leader in the clubhouse.
I'm leading off.
Your leader in the clubhouse goes first.
Oh, okay. So I went 13-6 last week. Repeated
already said
the
that.
week before, 13-6-1. I'm on a roll. Hitting at 58% clip right now. Starting Thursday night.
I was like, is he going to get into his picks?
Tech home dog this week against West Virginia, winless West Virginia maybe, or 1-2 West Virginia.
Easy.
I think they're going to win this game, Tech. Plus 2.5.
I agree. They're also on my card.
Awesome. Sorry, Ferry. Apologies. This is nothing against you. It's unbiased. Coastal Carolina, also a Thursday night game, I believe. Coastal Carolina -2 at Georgia State. Georgia State's winless. People keep saying Georgia State can play. You got to win at some point, or else I'm not buying it. They might stink. Coastal Carolina -2. Virginia +11 at Syracuse. I watched the Syracuse-Purdue game with Chuck. There was a lot of crazy stuff happening in that game. I think Virginia keeps it close. They have a veteran QB. Michigan -16.5 versus Maryland. I've been betting Maryland a lot this year so far, the first couple weeks. I think Michigan, this is a typical big dog, just stomps the mediocre team. Similar to like Ohio State, Penn State every year. No, that wasn't a shot at anybody.
It was a 1-score game last year, but
that was just an example. Clemson, Wake Forest under 55.5. Iowa State -3 versus Baylor. Kansas -7.5 versus Duke. Also taking the over 66.5.
Do you think 7.5 is a lot of points for Duke to be getting even without Coach K in Bog Allen Fieldhouse?
No, I think it should be higher.
Okay.
Shout out Stickers Committee. This is probably the game of the week. I haven't checked yet, but I hate Duke. I don't think they are good. I don't know how they keep winning. Kansas, I'm impressed. They beat big dog West Virginia. They disrespected the shit out of them. They don't give a shit. They're trying to win and do it with no class. They should beat Duke and probably do something ridiculous to them. Florida at Tennessee over 62.5. Texas -6.5 at Texas Tech. I don't even know if there's going to be goalposts this game because they tore them out last home game. So I'm just going to take the touchdown number. Minnesota -2.5 at Michigan State. I think Minnesota is just the better team. I think they win big. I think this is a low spread. This is almost my lock. Indiana +16.5 at Cincinnati. I just don't think Cincinnati should be getting 16.5 points on an undefeated Power 5 school. I'll lay the points. Iowa Rutgers under 34.5. This number is so low for college football, but I'm going to keep riding. Ohio State, Wisconsin under 57. I believe this is in Ohio State.
Yep.
I think Wisconsin does not. Blackout.
Yep.
Mm.
Yeah, black helmets, black jerseys. This game for Ohio State. Funeral, some are saying.
Love that for the under. I don't think
Big
Wisconsin scores. Oklahoma minus 13.5 versus Kansas State. I'm just going to keep betting Oklahoma. They keep covering against mediocre teams. I think Kansas State, no offense to Ferry, is pretty mediocre. USC minus 6.5 at Oregon State. We already talked about. And then,
hopefully we get the Pac-12 network because for some reason that's where that game's on.
This game finished second. It was almost my lock. San Jose State minus 7 against Western Michigan. Western Michigan flying across the country, different time zones. I'll take the touchdown number from the home team.
All right, Ferry, what's your card?
Obviously going to go with West Virginia. I see them at minus 1.5. I'm not just saying that because of bias. I think Virginia Tech stinks. It is a little scary because it's on the road. Revenge game from last year's crazy debacle. But I'm not going to not go against it. But even if I wasn't, I would still take West Virginia minus 1.5 just because I think they stink.
I wanted on the record, I didn't bet Pitt this week because I tried to be neutral.
There's no line out yet. Is that why you didn't bet them?
They're not on my card.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, I haven't given out West Virginia as a pick besides week 1, but but that's what we do here. We're men of honor. That's how it goes. Anyways, Clemson minus 7 from, again, shout out Ted, slub pick. I got Iowa State.
Go Tigers.
Yep. Shout out. Iowa State minus 3, like I said earlier. I also like Kansas minus 7.5, despite the rumors of Lance Leopold. Is that how it's pronounced?
That's correct.
They're talking. He's probably got his head elsewhere. Hopefully he stays there because if he can turn around that program, that's pretty sick.
You should poach him.
Honestly, yeah.
yeah, you should.
Yeah, that'd be kind of.
Oh wait, he probably wouldn't want to go to a school he'd kick the shit out of. No offense.
Well, it's the opposite of can't beat him, join him, but it's the opposite of that. I already said under A&M Arkansas. That said plus 13 Kansas State. Because I'm a sick, disgusting person, I'm going to go with the over in UMass Temple. Just because.
Oh my God.
What's the number? What's that number?
43. It's
oh my God.
The link will be rocking. It's all right.
Back-to-back home games.
Back to back. They hopefully they weren't too disappointed last week with the close game against Rutgers. Just that's more of a sicko pick. I got Florida plus 10.5, like I said. I like Texas minus 6.5 if they stay within the touchdown number. I think that they just kind of come back. Bama's in the rearview mirror. They're ready to roll. I got JMU plus 7 against App State. I'm just going to keep going against App State because they just keep winning these crazy games. They gotta be let down eventually here. The thing to do right now, Iowa Rutgers under 34.5. Just keep taking it until it doesn't break. I like South Carolina minus 22, despite how disgusting they were last week against Georgia. They're at home. They're playing Charlotte, as we have mentioned, how bad that team is. I think Rattler's going to be like, oh, I'm so good. I'm so good again, and just beat the living shit out of an awful team.
I'm adding that. I like that pick a lot. Charlotte just won.
Yeah, right. So they're happy for the season now.
Yeah.
And then Oregon State plus 6.5. Like I said, I also like. Well, I don't like it, but I don't make the rules kind of play. Arizona State plus 14.5 for new coach.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, maybe they come out firing. I mean, maybe the AD comes out on the field again. I don't know. Yeah, I don't make the rules on that pick. That's just what I got to do. And then I have my lock. Safe.
All right. Iowa State minus 2.5. Oregon State plus 6.5. Virginia Tech plus 2.5. One where I went against Ben here, Georgia State plus 2.5. I think Coastal Carolina is kind of a paper tiger. I don't think they're a very good team. And Georgia State, I think, is good. And it's just like this, they're 0-3. This will be their best effort Thursday night. night game. I think they'll win it outright, and I'll take the 2.5 there. A&M money line, Minnesota -2.5. I'm completely with you on that one, Ben. Michigan State just can't defend the pass at all, and they're probably just going to keep getting destroyed in the air. I'm also with you on this, Ben. Michigan -16.5. This feels like an ass kicking too. Every time I see Maryland take a step up in class, I just think like last year when we went to the Penn State Maryland game, how it just like wasn't even like they just get taken advantage of. So I feel like that's going to happen now. Michigan is probably hearing a lot of the noise about, their out of conference schedule was really weak. Like how good are they? And they're just going to come out and roll them.
I'll ride with the group on this pick. I'll add it.
Hell yeah. Hell to the victors. Ohio State -17.5. I kind of just think with this pick, like, all right, Ohio State's probably going to score 35. Is Wisconsin going to score 17? I don't think they can. So I think that Ohio State can cover.
You think Ohio State's going to score 35?
Yeah.
Okay.
Their offense is just insane. So yeah, I'll take them to score 35. Let's see.
Is that on your card?
It is on my card. Rutgers, Iowa. The last I wrote down was 35. I'll go under 34.5. I'm not sure it matters. South Carolina -22. And I think I said Tennessee over 62.5. Thank you, Ben.
You're welcome.
And my lock of the week, I already bet this game. UNC money line -115 against Notre Dame. This is either the squarest pick of all time.
Oh, I love that pick. That's on my card.
Here, like, just watching they just can't score for the life of them. They couldn't do it against Marshall, couldn't do it against Cal. Ohio State, it was almost like, is Ohio State's defense good? No, Notre Dame's offense is really bad. They just cannot move the ball against anyone. And North Carolina is going to score. And I don't think Notre Dame
Where's this game
can
at?
keep up. It's in Chapel Hill.
Ooh, yeah, this is on my card.
So I think North Carolina semi rolls in this game. If they get to 30, like, Notre Dame's fucked, and North Carolina's probably gonna get to 30. Like they just really they can really score. So yeah, North Carolina is my lock this week. Ben, I guess if you want to go, your lock.
Okay, I said earlier we went over this game. I said I didn't want to touch it. It smelled fishy. I lied. Texas A&M -2.5 versus Arkansas. The line does not make any sense. I'm so in on it. They might beat this team by 17. Like a 32-10 game, something like that. Texas A&M -2.5. Go Aggies.
Gig 'em.
Gig 'em. Is that their hottie toddy?
Not they're not Woo Pig Suey. Gig 'em.
Hashtag
Gig 'em. Gig 'em. Shout out Johnny Mandel.
Ferry's breaking up.
Ferry, we need your lock.
All right, he's here. Yeah, what's your lock?
Oh no,
you're good now.
Oh, yep, your connection is unstable. That's not great. Yeah, my lock is, I'm usually known for taking random ass games as my locks. Not this week though. Going to, I'm just going to take Ohio State -18. I gotta switch it up. Just try to fix.
You should take them first half.
Stable. I thought about making that my lock, but it hasn't been so good this year. The first half, I believe. So. Screw it. I'm just going to go Ohio State beat the living shit out of them.
I think I'm going to take the parlay this week.
It's a good parlay this week.
Let's go.
I don't think we've all hit yet.
No, not
the same
not
week.
All
yeah.
So if you include Jeff's as well, we definitely have not.
Oh, well, that one, yeah. But I just meant the show.
Oh, true. Yeah. Because we usually give two different picks for that.
Yeah, I do appreciate you co-opting and taking the Nebraska one so that it didn't look like I lost the parlay.
No, yeah, that was a tough one.
I tried to warn everybody. I was like, do not bet Nebraska.
When they started up 7-0, I was thinking outright win.
I was like,
all right. Anything else before we wrap up here? I'm trying to see. I know because we still have 6 minutes left on the Zoom. Ben, who is your quarter pole Heisman Trophy winner? If you had to hand one out right now.
Bijan Robinson.
Bijan Robinson. Okay. Fair. Who would you give it to?
I guess CJ Stroud. It's just easy.
Or Gunnar
pick. I feel like. Yeah.
I would go Caleb Williams. See, I'm unbiased.
Mm.
He's been lighting it up.
That's fair.
He has
That's
been
fair.
lighting it up.
I mean, if he
It's
keeps
their
it,
defense,
if he
I
keep
don't
it at this
like.
pace,
I guess that
Yeah.
does make you unbiased.
Yeah.
if they keep it up at this pace, they make us keep losing. I mean, yeah, you
My
gotta give
pick,
it to
my pick, Sean Clifford.
Yeah.
He's my front runner.
All right.
All right. That is our show here. Hopefully the locks hit and we all finish above 500. I have yet to do it. I've been 501 game below so far on the show. Ben's carrying the program at the moment.
You're welcome, people.
Yeah, so
You're welcome. You're welcome, nameless scumbag who called me a mush and keeps taking my picks.
Oh. Shout out him.
Not gonna name names.
And this won't be out till Friday, so he'll see that Georgia State covered and Virginia Tech covered.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, not Georgia State.
Oh.
Okay.
What, am I gonna be the only sicko in America watching that instead of Thursday Night Football?
Well, yeah,
probably.
this actually turned out to be the best week to do it. Browns, Steelers,
the Steelers Browns game is not too appealing.
No. All right, that's the show.